welcome to my first video about the LCK for this season. I'm going to cover my preseason power rankings, rank the teams 10 to 1 based on stats from last season and other inferences one can make based on how the teams look. Obviously, no one's really played, so this could be very wrong, could be shot in the dark, and I could get it right, whatever. I will say this is kind of like my LP. If you missed my LPL preseason power rankings, I did rank the 17 teams going into the season. Check that out, as well as my daily videos where I cover games that happen in early hours of the morning that you probably weren't up to watch. So you get a 5-minute recap or whatever of the game that took place. And I'll be doing that for the LCK tomorrow. Obviously, if you're here, you like the LCK. So, 10th, I have juanlife. HLE. I believe HLE is in trouble. They only kept Vista. The loss of Chovy, is absolutely crazy. There's no way in hell this team is going to finish anywhere up here. Looking at it, they have a lot of challenger players that they're using. I don't see this team. I don't see this team competing anywhere near here. They're not touching Worlds. If they do touch Worlds, it'll be a damn miracle. I don't think that I don't even think they're a playoff team. It's bad. I've been thinking to myself, maybe I should move Sandbox here or the Freaks here or, whatever, Red Force, whatever. And HLE, that has not come up. HLE is 10th place. They're 10th place by a mile. So, 9th place, I have breon, or however you may pronounce their name. I will learn how to pronounce it over time. Unlike HLE, I think these guys could make the playoffs. I think their bot lane is very underrated. Henna and, I'm going to learn how to pronounce these names over time. But Henna, the bot laner, and Delight, the support, I believe they have a very good bot duo that has the capability of being top 4 in the league and carrying them. It reminds me a lot of Teddy when he was with GenG. Teddy was just a monster with them, and he was stuck on a crap team. And I think that's going to happen with this bot lane right now. They are on struggle street with their teammates. I think that's problematic for them. Speaking of Teddy, now this is where things get interesting. The Freaks. So you've got Keen, you've got Teddy, and you've got Fate. I think you have 3 good players there, and there is potential that they can move up and around here. I think we'll see what Teddy has to offer. Excuse me. See what Teddy has to offer off of T1. Is he the same player he was, like I referenced here with these guys? Is he the same kind of player that can carry a team or not? Fate has his moments. Keen's a veteran, but I think at the jungle and support role, they are lacking and are on struggle street in that regard, and that's going to cause them trouble. That negates a lot of things for them. They can't make plays. Individually, they may be talented in lane, but they don't have what it takes to roam and create plays. Next, I have, sorry if that made noise, Red Force. Red Force with BDD and Ghost. This was a tough one. A lot of people like Ghost. BDD is, if there was a Hall of Fame, BDD would be considered a guy that could be there one day. But they both were cast off their teams for a reason. Ghost is no longer somebody Damwon felt they could trust, and BDD is no longer with GenG. So this causes them to have to go to Red Force, and I don't think Red Force is going to be able to be as good as the teams that let those guys go. I don't. And not only that, the veteran aspect of it, I mean, mechanically, is it still there for BDD? Can he still keep up with the mid laners around the league? That, I mean, he's going to have to carry against a team like GenG that'll be obviously here somewhere, or even a team like DRX and things like that. Like, I think there's going to be some issues there. Sixth, I have Sandbox. Keep bumping into my microphone stand, so if you hear that, I apologize. I'm getting used to the whole deal here with the microphone stand, and I mean, you might not have even heard that because I wasn't facing the microphone, so I got to work on that. So Sandbox number 6. Closer is there. Krakow is there. And so is Dove. I think they've got a nice young nucleus of players that could surprise people. That's why I have them above Red Force and I have them above the Freaks. I think this team, Sandbox, has the potential to surprise. They have the potential to maybe finish 4th and compete and, make things tough for one of the, world's contending teams or whatever. I feel like that's there for them. It's there for the taking. Where the teams after them, I really don't think so. I would say there is probably definitely a gap here somewhere between 6 and 8 where we have players that are not going to have a good season, in my opinion. 5th, DRX. DRX, Barrel, one of the best supports in the world. Deft, very, very good bot laner. Going through the bot lane, and they have Pyosik in the jungle. Pyosik is a very, very, very good jungler. Very underrated. A couple of years ago, he's fantastic. If it's a jungle meta, they could finish higher than 5th. But in the solo lanes, they are going to struggle a bit, and that's where I think that they falter compared to the teams in the top 4. But Barrel is going to create plays, and that's definitely better than the players back here. I mean, maybe this matchup would be interesting because you've got 2 bot lanes that I think are solid and very good. But when it comes to these guys, I think DRX has it in the bag. I don't even think Teddy or Ghost will have anything to say towards Deft and Barrel. 4th, things get interesting now because you're probably like, why is DRX 5th? And it's because learn how to use these markers properly. I'm not used to using a whiteboard. KT. They did some interesting moves. They brought Arya from Japan. That's a monster move. MVP in Japan. Maybe the best Japanese player of all time. Is he going to be able to do it? I think he has potential to get up here. I think he can make worlds. I think he is very, very, very good. Couple that with Rascal, Cuz, and Life. I think that he has the pieces here to facilitate him and allow him to surprise people. I think definitely there is going to be one team left here that isn't like the other 2 in the mid lane where I think that KT could take advantage. It's going to disappoint a lot of people, but it is what it is. I think that's where their advantage lies in that matchup. And I think Life had his moments last year where he struggled, and he had moments where he looked good. In the bot lane, I think that's where they will struggle when it comes to playing a team like DRX, where DRX might win through the bot lane against them. Because, I mean, Cuz has some aspects to his game in the jungle that can facilitate and also stabilize the game. But I don't think against a team like DRX and Pyosik, they will struggle in the jungle meta. 3rd, this is, I mean, it's disappointing to say, but T1. T1 I have 3rd. Gumayushi is very good young bot laner. Could be one of the best young bot laners in the world. That's without a shadow of a doubt. They lost their academy to the LCS, but nevertheless, Gumayushi is going to be doing well. Keria is the best support in the world, in my opinion. His champion pool is a freaking ocean. and that is going to create mismatches, especially when you have a player like Faker in the mid lane that also has a champion pool like an Ocean and can play the support, can play a more supportive mid lane champion like a Galio or a Twisted Fate or people like that, and that will unleash Carrier to play something a little more frisky, like a Pike or a Blitzcrank or something where it's not necessarily as supportive as a champion, but more of creating a mismatch in the bot lane. And Owner also looked very, very good. I felt Owner was underutilized last year as a jungler. He's one of the better junglers in the LCK. Stats don't lie. I think he was really, really solid. So right now, I would say I have them going to Worlds. Two, big surprise here. Damwon Gaming. Damwon Gaming is taking a step back. Losing Ghost. I mean, they chose to lose Ghost, and the kid they picked up, I mean, obviously they're in second place, so he's not going to, kill him or nothing. But this team runs through Showmaker and Canyon, and that's what it is, Showmaker and Canyon. It is Showmaker's show. And Canyon, best jungler in the world maybe, is going to facilitate that in a jungle mid-meta, that matchup. I mean, they're the best team in the world. No one's going to beat them. But in the LCK, in a normal meta, like one that doesn't center around jungle, I don't think they're the best team. Because the best team is GenG. GenG is the best team, in my opinion, going into this split. Chovy is a freaking monster. Maybe the best mid laner in the world. He's in the top 5. He is going to be on the best team he's had ever. Well, not ever, but in a while. They are going to be disgusting. You can't take Chovy away because then Ruler's going to take advantage of things. You can't, and Lehens is going to be all over the place. He's a great support, very good at moving around. He's going to be creating mismatches in the mid lane, even though Chovy's already going to have a mismatch. So maybe they can facilitate in the top lane, make things troublesome up there. And then in the jungle, they have Peanut. And Peanut, I mean, if Peanut can play a stabilizing role, a veteran role on this team and just not allow the crap to hit the fan, I think GenG could win the LCK this year. I mean, outside of a specific jungle mid meta, because, I mean, despite Chovy and Showmaker definitely being on even footing, Canyon is much better than Peanut. So in a jungle mid meta, I would have these two teams switch, like I keep saying. But as it stands right now, I'm going to have GenG number 1. That bot lane is going to cause problems if they try and take away Chovy. So, like I said, 1 through 10, juanlife, Fred breon, or however you're going to pronounce it. I will learn how to pronounce it over time. The Freaks, Red Force, Sandbox, DRX, KT, T1, Damwon, GenG, 10 through 1. I will try and do these weekly if I can. Stay tuned every morning. I will be covering the games. Tomorrow morning I will have a video up about the LCK, or some point tomorrow. I mean, it's my first time having more than 2 matches to watch, 2 series to watch, so it might be a little bit longer, and that video will be a little bit longer. But thank you for watching. If you like this content, like it, subscribe. Hopefully it'll get better over time. I anticipate it getting better over time as I learn, how this whole lighting deal works and the webcam and trying to get the microphone to sound decent. And my handwriting sucks, so learning not only, I guess, how to write legibly, but at the same time learning what's important and what's not to put on the whiteboard. So thank you for listening, and hopefully you come back tomorrow for more content.